New research reveals that Black women are 2 times more likely to have a premature baby than white women. What's being done to solve this alarming trend?
My grandmother lost 3 children, one of which they had to leave in the jungle.
The untold stories of the ethnic minority Hmong community from Laos, including a personal story from our own Pajang Lee.
He's telling them to, if you see someone new, shake their hand.
And sometimes growing up begins with a handshake. James Catato shares how the Cazenovia College men's basketball coach mentors young men in the simplest ways. And to close out our time on Mornings on the Hill, we share our favorite memories from this semester.
Coming up on Mornings on the Hill.
Good morning, I'm Katie Hopsaker. Thanks so much for joining us at Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Jack Wallace. We start today with the report of a sexual assault near campus and the latest from DPS.
We still know very little about the alleged sexual assault near campus as we head into a very busy party weekend. It happened in Thorndon Park on Tuesday. DPS says a man grabbed the alleged victim and told the student not to scream because he had a weapon. DPS says it happened near the amphitheater around 8:30 at night. They say the suspect forcibly touched the student, then ran away. The Syracuse Police Department is investigating with campus DPS. All we know right now is the suspect is a man around 40 years old who was wearing a black sweatshirt and black ski mask. This alleged assault adds on to the list of recent crime on campus. There have been several burglaries and break-ins around Euclid Avenue and South Campus. With block party tonight, graduation celebrations, and the summer party season starting up, DPS says to never walk alone, be on high alert, and download the Rave Guardian app. For more safety tips, visit dps.syr.edu.
Nationally, nearly 10% of all babies born are premature. However, for the Black community, this is more than just a statistic. This is becoming a death sentence.
Our own Michaela Armstrong tells us how one Syracuse Healing Center believes their work can change that.
Erica Hamilton thought she had found it all when she found out she was pregnant. But like millions of Black women who give birth, she had a higher risk of delivering early.
I just wish people would tell the truth, because when I had my miscarriage, my water bag was there and it popped and it broke. And I was like, so is there a chance? And then the next day I go to the doctors and I didn't hear my baby heartbeat.
According to the CDC, about 1 in 10 babies are born prematurely in the U.S. Black women are twice as likely as white women to give birth prematurely, and Black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to die from birth complications. There are women specially trained to help these expectant mothers. They are called doulas. Many Black mothers have not heard of them. Instead, they are left in the care of their doctor when many expecting Black mothers distrust doctors. This distrust stems from decades of cruel scientific experimentation on Black people at the hands of white doctors, like the infamous 40-year Tuskegee syphilis study, which studied 600 Black men in rural Alabama, but didn't tell them what they were doing or give them any treatment, and didn't get their consent. Research shows this experiment goes beyond those men, but affects how Black people feel about the medical system.
If it's not the patient themselves that have experienced a negative experience with the healthcare system, it's someone they know, a relative, a loved one, and it just kind of spirals.
Dr. El Kafraoui of Upstate Medical Hospital found the birth rate gap comes from neighborhood wealth, stress, access to prenatal care, and racism in the medical system. El Kafraoui is an expecting mother herself and says patients must speak up.
You have to be concerned when XYZ happens. You have to go to the nearest hospital, regardless of what a nurse on a phone will tell you, or anybody really. If you're feeling this way, you have to just go and you have to tell patients to really start advocating for themselves.
The CDC says expecting mothers should talk to doctors if anything doesn't feel right, document medical visits, and maintain healthcare and social support systems during and after pregnancy, like a doula.
Erica Hamilton's journey to motherhood did not end after her miscarriage. She became pregnant again. Doctors told her she was high risk to deliver prematurely. She was determined to carry full term. She did. With the help of her doula she found here at the Sankofa Healing Center.
You get pregnant, you do this, you go to the hospital, you have your baby, and that's it. And it's so much more than that.
Leandra Torrance, a doula at Sankofa Healing Center, does more for expectant mothers than deliver babies. As a doula, she supports mothers before, during, and after the birthing process. Mothers in need are given diapers, baby clothes, bottles, and wipes for free to help after delivery. Torrance says doulas build trust expecting mothers need.
Just educating them on their rights and everything that, that they can say no in certain things. Because a lot of women believe that they don't have a voice when they're, in the hospital and things like that. So we're here to really give them a voice and educate, and so they can have that good birthing experience.
Hamilton did have a good birth experience with a doula by her side to answer any questions. She gave birth to her daughter Imani in July of 2017, natural and full term, just like she wanted. Hamilton says with the help of a doula, more success stories like hers can be possible for other Black women.
High five.
And it starts with word of mouth. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Michaela Armstrong.
Sankofa Healing Center offers doulas, wellness programs, and education to make sure expecting mothers like Erica Hamilton are not left without support. I'm Michaela Armstrong. Back to you.
The countdown is on. There are only 2 weeks until graduation. This is video from the spring 2019 commencement, and this year we are back to full-on celebration without mask at the Dome. SU will give out 4 honorary degrees at the upcoming ceremony, as well as 2 Doctor of Humane Letters degrees. Graduation weekend is full of events with the Newhouse ceremony on Saturday, May 14th, and the all-school commencement happening on Sunday, the 15th.
We are near the end of Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month on campus, but as we head into May, it's the actual month that the U.S. celebrates it. Our Pajong Lee tells the untold story of a community that has been hidden from history.
Even when I say I'm Hmong, they have no idea what that is.
The Hmong community and its history has gone widely unknown to America. This doesn't help Vanessa Lee, who has struggled all her life with her Hmong identity.
A part of my identity definitely feels lost.
While growing up in a predominantly white neighborhood in Syracuse, no one knew what Hmong was.
It always used to be like a game, like a guessing game. It's like, what's your race? And I'm just like, guess. And in my head, I know that they're not going to get it. And they name every other Asian race, and I'm just like, it's not me. And then I say Hmong, and then they're just like, well, what's Hmong?
What many don't know is that the Hmong people are a hidden part of U.S. history. They are an ethnic minority from Southeast Asia who were roped into a U.S.-involved war. The CIA secretly entered Laos in 1961 to prevent the spread of communism. And so the secret war began.
And so instead of using American troops in countries of Laos, they trained the Hmong to fight as surrogate soldiers of the American armed forces. So during the war, 30,000 or so Hmong were captured, killed, or missing. And after the war, it is estimated over 50,000 people died trying to escape the country of Laos into Thailand as refugees.
This is the Mekong River, where many Hmong people died while crossing into Thailand for the camps. My parents were only kids running for their lives through Laos. My grandmother lost 3 children, one of which they had to leave in the jungle after being born for only a few hours. Vanessa and I are a testament of our family's survival. Today, my home state of Minnesota has the largest urban Hmong population, but Syracuse only has a handful.
Probably less than 20 families. So, yeah. So now it's just the Lees and the Vangs, that's it.
The two clans?
The 2 clans, yes.
There are small ways where the Lee family continues the Hmong culture, cooking and displaying Hmong story cloths, or pandao, in her home. They tell the story of the Hmong people.
And that's what they did back in the days in their country. So, I mean, harvesting, wheat and rice and yeah.
Vanessa loves when her mom cooks Hmong food and even wants to learn the language.
I love the language. I feel like the language is something I can work on.
Which Zhang hopes younger generations will keep alive.
The language is the most important piece, because if you lose the language, you lose the culture. You lose the culture, you lose the history. And you lose the history, then you lose your identity.
While Vanessa plans to deepen her connection to the Hmong culture, Zhang hopes that schools and universities continue to add the Hmong history to their programs. This way people can learn about the Hmong people and bring their history to light. In Syracuse, I'm Pajong Lee with Mornings on the Hill.
Now to the war in Ukraine and a campus-wide effort to send help. Elena Lucido is at Shine Student Center to tell us how we can help.
Hey, have you seen these boxes on and around campus? They look like this. On the outside, there's a list of donations you can bring to people in Ukraine. You can place the items here in tote bags or just place the items right here in this bin. They can change the lives of people suffering in Ukraine. They're in every building, including sorority houses and residence halls, New House and Shine, every building on campus. You can leave donations in these boxes, things like bandages, non-perishable food, blankets, and many more items that can change the lives of people in a war zone. You can also scan a QR code if you want to give money. The student who started this drive, Jillian Schultz, sends these packages directly to Ukraine.
I've had the privilege to tutor a girl named Luba, and she's actually from Ukraine, and her family had to leave their hometown and go into a bomb shelter. It just touched me in a way that was, like, it didn't feel coincidental that there's not that many students from Ukraine here. And I just felt, I was like, we have to do something. Like, there just has to be something. I need to help her in any way I can.
If you've been looking for a way to help the people of Ukraine, this is a great way to start. This is a way to help a person like Lupa. Live at Shine, I'm Elena Lucido, Mornings on the Hill. Back to you. COVID rates are increasing on campus. There are 130 active cases today. We're still at a code blue mask level, and masks are required in campus in class, but no masks are required at the Dome for the block party concert tonight. And as of now, it appears we will not need masks during graduation ceremonies either.
Now, when you hear the phrase, be a man, what do you think of? Reporter James Catato tells us how one local man is working to redefine the meaning.
Oh, the feeling of being a kid again. But these aren't any normal kids. No, these kids are eager to learn.
Because these people here, they're teaching you a lot of good things, and they're not going to teach you nothing wrong, so you should take their advice.
Advice from people like Cazenovia College men's basketball coach Justin Stern. Some of these kids want to play pro basketball, but Stern knows the work off the court matters just as much.
All right, think about games or your tests in school. Did you prepare, did you do anything, did you listen to prepare yourself for the test, just like you prepare yourself for a game?
I want them to understand that just by putting yourself in the right surrounding, putting yourself in the right situation makes a big difference. It's more than just playing college basketball. It's about being a part of something and giving back.
You know, it takes a special type of individual to be able to gather 6th through 8th graders in an elementary gym like H.W. Smith School and talk to them about what it really means to grow up. But for one dad, that's how this all started. He had a 4-year-old son and he thought he knew what it meant to be a man. Then after he went through a divorce, he kind of had to reevaluate things a little bit.
There was points in my life when I felt there was no one I could talk to, no one I could really share this stuff with. And I want to provide that space where they feel safe enough and they can talk to each other.
Salimo Musa is a freshman at Onondaga Community College and is one of Haran's old students. He comes back to help out every year because he wants to pass on the tools that helped him become the man he is today.
He's telling them to, like, if you see someone new, shake their hand, like hug each other, like fix things, like if there's beef going on within like one another, just learn to like settle it with, just keep things to a minimum.
So how does someone build men?
So who found my dollar?
Maybe by taking the boys through every aspect of what it means to be a man, like the lesson of the day.
You found it?
The dollar drop. Haran says it only took 30 seconds for someone to pick it up and put it in their pocket.
We did it on purpose to see what would happen, a little test of integrity.
And although it took a few minutes,
he gave it to him. He's like, here. Now, Shemaiah has been here before. He knew the experiment, so what'd you do? No, I'm giving it right back to you. I'm not going to get caught with it.
the intention of giving it back was always there.
Could he have not said anything when I said, who took my dollar? Absolutely.
But he did. After all, that's what a real man would do.
They are worthy. They have every opportunity in front of them, and we need to help them go get that.
So, boys will be boys. But Haran is working to build men every day.
And so I appreciate you for that integrity.
In Syracuse, James Catato, NCC News.
Coming up here on Mornings on the Hill, we will show you how riding horses is therapeutic for children.
Pop star Olivia Rodrigo performed in New York City, and we have big news following the NFL draft.
And coming up, we have some beautiful weather this weekend to accompany some amazing performances that you won't want to miss. Stay tuned for the weather report.
There's lots going on this weekend, and it looks great for the weather.
Amani Clement is live out on University Ave to tell us what to expect.
Thanks, Jack, and good morning, Syracuse. Let's take a look at the current weather conditions right now. It is currently a little chilly, and the temperature stands at 35 degrees, but it will warm up a bit just in time to see 2 Chainz right here at the Dome tonight. And
horsepower, all this polo on, I got horsepower.
Block party tonight with Baby King at 7 p.m. All right, and enough about 2 Chainz. Let's take a quick look at tomorrow's forecast. We again start up with some pretty chilly temps in the morning, but just like today, it will warm up throughout the afternoon. The sun will make an appearance all day, thank God, and then it will drop back to the low 30s by midnight. And this entire weekend honestly looks beautiful and sunny the whole way through. It warms up considerably on Sunday with a high of 66 degrees. And if you're a Newhouse Master's student, make sure you pull up to our Master's Party on Sunday at the Shine Center. The sunny skies will fade, however, because when does Syracuse ever give us consistent weather? There will be a high chance of rain Monday through Wednesday, but fortunately the temperatures won't drop any lower than the 60s. Wow, sunny skies and 2 Chainz tonight. We love to see it. And I guess everyone is enjoying some live performances this week, as our very own Gabriel Vega went to see the Olivia Rodrigo this week. And Gabe, tell us what that was like.
It was truly sweet, Imani. Pop star Olivia Rodrigo was on her Sour tour this week, and I took a little trip to New York City to see it. You could barely hear Rodrigo sing. The show was sold out. There was over 6,000 people there, full capacity for Radio City Music Hall, and the fans went wild. Everybody knew every word to every song, and I was shamefully one of them. Rodrigo was at Radio City for 2 nights, Tuesday and Wednesday. She sang through her entire Sour album, starting off with the bang that is Brutal, then going to Traitor and Driver's License. The fans sang their hearts out on that one. Rodrigo also sang tunes from Alanis Morissette and Avril Lavigne, and she even did a bit from her High School Musical career. And Rodrigo posted on her Instagram thanking her fans, so happy and so healthy. Thank you, Radio City, for 2 magical nights. What a dream come true. It was truly a magical night. I had tons of fun.
Coming up, a story on healthcare and one man's journey to lose weight.
An organization gives kids the chance to connect with animals, and we will update you on the NFL draft.
Now this week is full of action in Syracuse. Syracuse women's lacrosse starts its ACC tournament run tonight. Also, a look at a weightlifting class on campus that does more than just strengthen your muscles. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining me for a quick sports update. Now this weekend is bound to be electric, and last night's NFL draft was the perfect way to kick off a jam-packed 3 days. Now, Las Vegas was supposed to be the venue for the 2020 draft, but a little thing called COVID-19 changed the plans. This year, Las Vegas was finally the host, and fans were not disappointed. The Jacksonville Jaguars stole the night as they snatched up Georgia's Trayvon Walker for the #1 overall pick in the draft, a very athletic and active defensive end. Now, the two New York teams had top 5 options, and last night fans welcomed duck sauce to the tri-state area. The Giants drafted Kayvon Thibodeau from the Oregon Ducks, and the Jets landed cornerback Ahmad Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati. Now, don't miss the rest of the draft tonight and on Saturday. Now, while you pregame for the draft, there's a huge lacrosse game on offer. Syracuse women's lacrosse is in tournament mode tonight as they face off against the #6 ranked Virginia in South Bend. Now, last time out, Syracuse got the edge over Virginia in the regular season. Now, the Orange are unfortunately without breakout star Emma Tyrell, but Syracuse have some extra firepower. The key players to watch are Megan Tyrell and Emily Harris-Chuck, who are looking to provide the goal-scoring edge for the Orange, but don't count out any member of that team as they look to go all the way. Face-off is tonight at 7:30. Now let's shift our focus to something a little more personal. Our IE Giant is live this morning with a story on women's weightlifting and empowerment class right here on campus. IE?
Attention all women. If you're interested in weightlifting, the Barnes Center now offers classes for women to learn in a judgment-free zone. When you think of weightlifting, bodybuilder may come to mind, but these women are working to change that narrative.
We started the Women on Weights program because me and some of the other female trainers and female students and staff that I've spoken to have felt a lot is that the weight room here and everywhere can be very male dominated.
So my experience today was really good. It was a really nice environment. I really liked the personal trainers that assisted us today. It was really fun. I wanted to learn more about weights since I do more like cardio, yoga, Pilates kind of style workouts. So it was really nice. The environment was very welcoming and I felt super comfortable. So I would be definitely coming back.
The days and times are never the same, so make sure to check the Syracuse University event calendar. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm IE Giant.
Still to come here on Mornings on the Hill, a man's health journey is inspiring other men and an organization is helping kids socialize a bit better with horses. You're also going to hear from our news team on their favorite memories this semester. Stay with us. That story and more just ahead.
And motivation can be hard to find, that is, until maybe your life depends on you making that change. After the break, we'll meet a man who found his motivation and is on his way to achieving his goal.
Same address, new website. orangetvnetwork.syr.edu. OTN launched a new website that gives you all the information you need about your student TV station. Information about all of our shows and our programming partners. On the air 24/7, you can watch the OTN live stream on any device. orangetvnetwork.syr.edu. orangetvnetwork.syr.edu. And tune your ears into our podcasts. orangetvnetwork.syr.edu. Check out the daily program schedule by clicking the link under our shows. orangetvnetwork.syr.edu.
Reaching a new goal isn't always easy, but it is possible. Our Sydney Uri has a story that might just encourage you to keep trying.
Life is often full of surprises, and sometimes the outcome isn't always ideal. But for one man, the chance to take back control of his life is just a few steps away.
Inspiration comes from everywhere, even the places you never hoped it would.
I recently lost my daughter March 13th.
Nathaniel Brown says his daughter Kayla was the one who always had his back.
I'm just gonna help keep her memory alive as long as I can.
But to do that, he knew he'd have to make some changes to stay alive, so he set a goal.
I said, well, I'm gonna try to walk every day for 100 days.
An idea he had for the first time back in 2020 while taking on the Woodland Reservoir.
I couldn't get back to the car. It took me like 20 minutes to get back to the car because my stomach had got so big and it was pulling on my back. And I was just like, no way.
But even when the hills seemed too high, 100 days seemed like they'd never pass, or the count began again at just 1.
I didn't quit. I didn't give up.
And it's a good thing he didn't. Studies show that black men are at a higher risk of suffering from major health-related issues. Black men between the ages of 45 and 54 die by stroke at a rate 3 times higher than their white counterparts. They are more than twice as likely to die from prostate cancer, and 54% of black men have high blood pressure, which generally presents itself earlier in black men than in any other portion of the population.
Brown says that carrying the weight of managing your own health issues can get really heavy, and says that more people need to turn to their doctors who can help them lighten that load.
But what if it's not so simple?
Historically, there's been a lot of mistrust between the black community and the medical establishment. If you look back to historical events in this country, things like the Tuskegee experiments, where black men were basically, not treated.
Obami's saying these unethical practices still negatively impact the black community at a time when certain risks are still high.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, all those things are chronic medical conditions that tend to affect disenfranchised communities a little bit more.
Brown had a medical scare of his own 8 years ago when he found out he had an aneurysm in his aorta.
You got to get checked out, because what you don't know can hurt you. It can kill you.
And Obama says doctors are a good first step, but
I think for us as black men, we have a responsibility to empower our fellow black men to empower their health.
Which is what Brown hopes to continue doing through his daily updates on Facebook, all while keeping his #1 supporter close by.
It's really inspiring to know that whatever I post, people are really paying attention to it.
An inspiration that carried him back to his goal of walking 3 miles each day, and he's hoping he can achieve even more.
Keep doing it. Keep pushing.
Brown also told me that he's looking forward to the day where he's finally in shape enough to buy his very first full suit. Reporting live in the studio, I'm Sydney Uri, Mornings on the Hill.
Horse riding with a twist is changing lives one trot at a time. Reporter Mariama Jallo tells us about Madison Hassler's story about how an organization and a particular horse changed her life forever.
Winston Churchill once said, "There is something about the outside of a horse that is good for the inside of a man." That's been the mission of one organization with big dreams and even bigger hearts for the past 20 years. Not just serving any man, but those among us that need it the most.
Madison has some learning disabilities and also some physical health problems and vision issues. She was born premature. About 2 years ago, we were looking to get Maddie involved in some activities that would help her to grow. She was really shy and she wasn't very confident.
Then one day, she got lucky. Yup, lucky. Her best bud and horse that's helped her overcome the disabilities that other options couldn't.
To see her come so far with something, I don't want to say as simple as horseback riding, but it's the program itself.
From the ground up therapeutic horsemanship opened its doors in 2002, focusing on equine therapy for individuals ranging from mentally disabled, physically disabled, to totally abled beings.
But why horses? Well, we all know you can't ride a dog. But what is it about a horse that's threatening to take over as man's new best friend here in Tully, New York?
The respect they give you
and the sympathy they bestow upon you and the allegiance that the horse gives you. And that is something you cannot buy or get from people. Horses are the only animals besides dogs that will give it to you.
What started as three people's passion has bloomed to become a one-of-a-kind program. Although Tony Lombardi isn't in the mix as he once was, his vision, along with others, was the foundation for paving some happy trails.
I worked at Penhurst State Hospital. I did my internship for my doctorate, and I worked with special needs people, and that was the beginning of it.
The beginning of hope. Hope for the possibility that people with disabilities can excel in all sorts of activities, including horseback riding.
The program started after 6 months. We had our first students, and me and one instructor, we did students on Saturday by ourselves. That was awesome, okay, very awesome.
A possibility that Maddie and so many like her faced with challenges have been lucky to find.
She sat up on that horse the first time like she was born to be there. And she's been that way ever since, and she has gained so much self-confidence. She's got so much more mature, and she's very comfortable coming here.
To an outsider, it may look like Maddie and others like her are simply sitting on top of a horse, not knowing that on the inside, it truly feels like they're sitting on top of the world. In Telly, New York, I'm Mariama Jallo.
Coming up, we will hear from our executive producer and our news team to close out our last Friday mornings on the Hill.
Stay with us. The semester is wrapping up and it's bittersweet. Our Sydney Uri is about to take us down memory lane.
Well, the day that once seemed so far away is actually here. Today would be our last show for Mornings on the Hill, so the team decided to share some memories and some advice for all the future MOTH teams to come.
I would say my favorite MOTH memory is, actually I gotta think about it. I'm sorry, I should have said that.
Alright, so I don't think I have one particular memory, but every single day I get so excited to work with these people. Amazing, and I think that's the best part.
Cultivating these relationships that I haven't had before and getting to know you guys a lot better. You will see people cross the hall like in your program, but once you're in MOTH, like you guys are like in it together. You guys are an actual news team.
My favorite memory from MOTH this semester was anchoring with my fellow Gold Ring student, Katie.
I have loved Mornings on the Hill. I'm originally a print journalism student, so it's been so cool to see behind the scenes of television and learn how to do it all.
That's a good one. Probably doing weather the other week. I had a lot of jokes in there. It was pretty fun to do, and it was outside, super sunny. I think it was like the actual sunny day of a long time, so it was really fun.
My biggest lesson, I guess, is to always show up on time and get stuff done early. I really tried to do that this year, and it saved my butt a lot of time. So just go for that, make sure it's done early, and you'll be sitting good.
Believe in yourself and go for it. And I think that that's also one of the biggest lessons that I learned, just to breathe and just get in front of that camera and say, Michaela, go.
Learn Premiere. I have had plenty of times where Premiere has let me down, and I do not want the future MOTH team to have the same problems as me. So learn Premiere, have your hard drive ready, all that stuff ready to go, and you'll be set for life.
Make sure you always have your package ready. Stay in communication with your producer and audio. So get a little mic that attaches to your phone, and that would really save your packages.
My biggest lesson learned is definitely don't be late to MOTH, and always respect friendships and relationships with people that you have, because you never know what might happen.
We want to say thank you to our amazing Professor Liz Habib and our incredible production team in the back, Jill, Rox, Professor Wenner, and Marlon, and also to all of our IAs. We could not do this show without all of you. So for the last time here for Mornings on the Hill, I'm Sydney Orr. Back to you.
Finally, this morning, that is going to do it.
Hey MOTH family, hey MOTH Live viewers, thank you so much for watching Friday at 10 a.m. I know it's early mornings, Moth family, but thank you so much for everything that you put into the show. It wouldn't be anything without you. I know that each and every one of you is going so far. I can't wait to see where you go. Thank you so much for all of your hard work. Again, this show would be nothing without you. IAs, Jill, Rox, thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, I didn't introduce myself. I'm the executive producer. I'm Kritsia Williams. You see me sometimes on screen, but not all the time. I'm usually in this thing right here, telling everybody what to do in their ears, making them smile, and making a great show for you live viewers. Again, thank you so, so much. This is my last time. I'm signing off. For Mornings on the Hill, I'm Kritsia Williams.
And that's going to do it for us this Friday here on Mornings on the Hill. I'm Katie Hopsiker, and don't forget to follow us on social media at Mornings on the Hill.
And I'm Jack Wallace. For all of us in the newsroom, thank you for watching Orange Nation.